Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most remarkable and shocking events in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, the destruction of a $600 million convoy of North Korean missiles that was secretly on its way to Russia. This single operation has not only crippled a major resupply effort, but has also revealed how desperate Moscow has become in sourcing weapons, even from isolated regimes like North Korea. What happened that night has already become one of the defining moments of 2025's conflict timeline, and it's reshaping the conversation around modern warfare, intelligence, and global arms networks. The convoy in question was unlike any ordinary military movement. It consisted of dozens of massive transport-erector launcher vehicles, heavily armored trucks, and multiple support units designed to carry and protect the imported North Korean missiles. Each launcher was carrying at least one ballistic missile believed to be the KN-23 or KN-24 models, both designed with technology similar to Russia's own Iskander system. The entire column stretched for several kilometers, painted in olive drab camouflage, and was guarded by Russian military police and electronic warfare units meant to shield it from detection. On the surface, the convoy looked like a symbol of power, a mobile fortress of steel, missiles, and machinery slowly making its way through Russian territory. But despite all the security and secrecy surrounding it, Ukrainian intelligence had been tracking it for days, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Inside those enormous launcher vehicles was an intricate world of military engineering. The interior of each unit was compact yet efficient, featuring an advanced fire control system, a digital guidance computer, and a solid fuel storage chamber. The cockpit section was protected by reinforced armor, and the control panel allowed for quick missile deployment with minimal crew. North Korean engineers had even integrated shock-absorbing mounts and radar-absorbing materials to increase survivability during transport. It was a mix of rugged design and calculated precision intended to make the convoy capable of rapid response in battlefield conditions. However, no matter how advanced the equipment was, it could not save the convoy once Ukrainian drones and satellite data exposed its exact route. The performance of these North Korean missiles has been a topic of interest for years. The KN-23, modeled after the Russian Iskander, can reach speeds of up to Mach 6 and strike targets as far as 700 kilometers away. It follows a quasi-ballistic flight path, meaning it can maneuver during flight to avoid interception. That's what makes it so dangerous on paper: fast, agile, and deadly accurate. Russia's interest in obtaining them was clear. Its own missile stockpiles had been severely depleted by 2 years of continuous war, and domestic production was struggling to keep up with demand. North Korea's missiles were meant to fill that gap quickly and cheaply. Yet when Ukrainian intelligence confirmed the convoy's movement near the Russian border, all that potential power became a massive liability. Within minutes of detection, precision strikes from Ukrainian HIMARS systems and long-range drones destroyed the entire column. What was meant to be a powerful reinforcement turned into a burning field of twisted metal and exploding fuel tanks. The speed and precision of the Ukrainian strike stunned military observers worldwide. Each missile truck was destroyed in quick succession, with explosions lighting up the night sky for miles. The convoy's electronic warfare units failed to jam the incoming GPS-guided munitions, and Russian air defenses were caught completely off guard. This wasn't just an airstrike. It was a surgical operation combining intelligence, timing, and advanced weaponry. Ukraine had successfully demonstrated that information and coordination are more powerful than even the most expensive missile systems. The destruction of the convoy revealed not only the vulnerability of Russia's supply chain, but also the growing sophistication of Ukraine's reconnaissance network, which is now heavily supported by NATO surveillance assets. What made this strike even more significant was the failure of the safety systems that North Korea had built into its missile units. Normally, these systems include encrypted launch codes, anti-tampering features, and in some cases, self-destruct mechanisms designed to prevent capture or misuse. However, during the attack, these safety features were rendered useless. The strike was so sudden and intense that there was no time to activate any countermeasures. The missiles exploded in their launchers before the crews could react, and the convoy's protective escort was eliminated in seconds. The very technologies designed to protect the missiles became irrelevant in the face of overwhelming precision firepower. From an economic and strategic standpoint, this was a devastating loss. The estimated cost of the destroyed convoy reached $600 million, including missiles, vehicles, and support equipment. Each KN-23 missile alone cost between $3 and $5 million, while the launcher vehicles and transport infrastructure aid even more. For a country like North Korea, that represents years of production effort and a significant part of its military export income. For Russia, it meant the loss of a critical weapons shipment that was supposed to replenish its missile reserves for upcoming winter offensives. In one night, Ukraine managed to wipe out what would have been months of frontline firepower for the Russian army, all at a fraction of the cost. The reason Russia turned to North Korea in the first place lies in sanctions and dwindling resources. Western restrictions have crippled its ability to import high-tech components for its own weapons production. North Korea, isolated but resourceful, offered a quick solution: relatively modern missiles that could be delivered discreetly and used immediately. The KN series missiles were appealing because they were affordable, mobile, and easy to integrate into Russian systems. They were often called the poor man's Iskander, offering similar performance at a lower cost. However, this partnership exposed both nations to new risks. For Russia, it showed the world how reliant it had become on outside help. For North Korea, it revealed that its weapons supply chain was not as secretive as it believed. The Ukrainian strike also highlighted a new phase in modern warfare, one where intelligence, cyber warfare, and satellite coordination can achieve what once required massive bombing campaigns. Ukrainian forces used real-time satellite data, likely provided by Western allies, to pinpoint the convoy's exact route and timing. Drones provided visual confirmation, and HIMARS units executed the strike with minimal delay. This level of integration is something that was previously thought to be possible only for major world powers like the United States. Now, Ukraine has proven that with the right data and coordination, even smaller nations can execute operations of global significance. In the aftermath, the remains of the convoy told the story better than any official report could. Burnt-out missile launchers, scorched ground, and twisted steel filled the landscape. Russian recovery teams tried to salvage what was left, but the destruction was nearly total. Footage released later showed the scale of devastation, with secondary explosions continuing for hours as missile warheads detonated one after another. For Russia, it was an embarrassing and costly failure. For Ukraine, it was a triumph of intelligence and precision, a statement that even the most secret shipments can be found and destroyed. The geopolitical implications are equally massive. This incident publicly exposed the growing arms cooperation between Russia and North Korea, something both countries had long denied. It forced international organizations to call for further sanctions and investigations into illegal weapons transfers. It also signaled to other nations that Ukraine's intelligence capabilities are reaching new heights. The balance of power in this war is shifting not just on the battlefield, but in the invisible realm of information dominance. Ultimately, this event is about more than just destroyed missiles. It's about the message it sends that in modern warfare, secrecy is temporary and superiority is determined by precision, not volume. Ukraine's ability to strike deep into Russian logistics shows that no convoy, no matter how expensive or well-guarded, is untouchable. The destruction of the $600 million North Korean missile convoy will be remembered as a turning point, a moment when strategy, intelligence, and technology combine to outmatch brute force. As the war continues, this incident serves as a warning to all nations involved. The reliance on foreign weapons, especially from unstable regimes, can lead to catastrophic losses. For Ukraine, it was a victory that strengthened morale and showcased its growing military prowess. For Russia, it was a harsh lesson in vulnerability and overconfidence. And for the world, it was a reminder that in the age of drones, satellites, and real-time intelligence, even the most powerful weapons can be rendered useless before they ever reach the battlefield.